Hi guys, I trust you're feeling well and awesome. Welcome to this video on grade 11 mathematics, and in this video we will look at solving equations by completing the square. Now I've already uploaded a video on completing the square previously. I'm going to leave a link down in the description. If you have not yet watched that video, I'd highly suggest that you watch the video and then come back to this, because we will be going over how to solve equations by completing the square, and the assumption is when we go through this video that you already understand how the process of completing the square works. So in this video, we'll revise what we looked at in the last video when we were doing the common factor, and that is how to solve equations, the different types of equations you get in grade 11. And then we'll also have a look at completing the square. So without any further ado, let's get into it. As mentioned in the previous videos, that in previous grades you were introduced to solving both linear as well as quadratic equations. And as we've said before, a linear equation is an equation whereby the highest exponent of the variable is 1. A quadratic equation is an equation in which the highest exponent of the variable is 2. Now, quadratic equations can be expressed using different forms of factorization. We looked at a couple of them in the previous video. So that included the common factor, the difference of two squares, and the trinomial. There's grouping, there's sum of difference of two cubes, but we looked at a few of them in the last video. Now, in grade 11, we said we've got three ways of factorizing, or solving quadratic equations. The first one being factorization, which we looked at in the previous video. The second one is completing the square, which is what we're looking at in this video. And then lastly, we have the quadratic formula that's going to come in the next video. So let's get into today's business and have a look at how we can solve for x by completing the square in this equation. So let's go to the writing pad. All right, the equation we have is x, whoops, sorry, wrong color. The equation we have is x squared plus 10x, let's see, that's minus 2. So minus 2 is equals to 0. Now, if you look at this, there's no way that you can factorize it because there are no factors of negative 2 such that when you add them you get 10. But as the instruction said, we are solving for x by completing the square. That's the purpose of this video. So we can see that the coefficient of x squared is 1. So what we can do now is we can say, okay, let's take x squared plus 10x. And then what we do is, if you can remember from completing the square, we have to add half the coefficient of x squared. We also need to subtract half the coefficient of x squared. Then we can take the negative 2 to the other side, it becomes positive 2. Next step, let's simplify what we have. We have x squared plus 10x, and this is going to give us half of 10 is 5. 5 squared is going to give us positive 25. Minus 25 is equals to 2. Now you would remember that we said we do not want a scenario where we cancel this out, because it's going to lead us to exactly the question we started off with. So what we want to do is let's take negative 25 to the other side so that we make sure that we remain with a trinomial. So x squared plus 10x plus 25 is going to be equals to 2 plus 25. Now when I look at the trinomial on the left hand side, I can factorize this. So I'm going to open two brackets here, and this is going to be equal to 27. I'm going to have x in the first bracket, x in the second bracket. The last term is positive, so our signs must be the same. Which sign do we take? The sign of the middle term. So this is positive, this is positive. Factors of 25 that I'm going to use, it's 5 and 5. Now remember, with the difference of two squares, you will always end up with the perfect square trinomial. As you can see, we've got the same bracket here, so we can write this as x plus 5 squared is equals to 27. We are solving for x, so on both sides, on both sides we need to take the square root. So we take the square root of x plus 5 squared, and we take the square root of 27. We are going to get x plus 5 is equals to positive square root of 27, or x plus 5 is equals to negative square root of 27. Now I'm going to say x is equals to square root of 27 minus 5, or x is equals to, take the 5 to the other side, you've got negative 27, this is negative square root of 27 minus 5. 27 minus 5. All right, if we simplify the square root of 27 and leave it in simple surd form, this is going to be 3 square root of 3 minus 5, or x is equals to negative 3 square root of 3 minus 5. Now, if the question asked you to write the answers in simpler surd form, you are done. If the question asked you to write the answers correct to 2 decimal places, what you could do is you can actually type this into your calculator. You can type 3 square root of 3 minus 5 into your calculator. You can type negative 3 square root of 3 minus 5 into the calculator, and you will get your answers in a decimal form. Awesome. I hope that this made sense to you guys. Let's go to the notes and look at the second question. So the next question is 2x squared minus 11x is equals to 0. Let's go and write it out. So we have 2x squared minus 11x is equals to 0. Now you might be thinking, hang on, I can get away with taking out the common factor here, and that's true. You can factorize by using the common factor, as we saw in the previous video. However, the instruction was specific to say that you need to factorize using completing the square. So what we need to do here is we need to take out the coefficient of x squared for the first 2 terms only. So this is going to be x squared minus 11 over 2x. Once again, if you don't understand where the 11 over 2 comes from, please check out the video on completing the square and it will make sense from there. So we put the 2 outside of the brackets. We say x squared minus 11 over 2x. And then as we did in the previous question, we have to add half the coefficient of x, which is negative 11 over 2 squared. We also have to subtract half the coefficient of x squared. Notice that I'm doing all of this within the brackets. And this is equals to 0. Let's simplify this. We're going to have 2 into x squared minus 11 over 2x. Then what is going to happen is 1 over 2 times negative 11 over 2, that's going to give you negative 11 over 4. Negative 11 over 4 squared will give you positive 121 over 16. Minus 121 over 16. And let's close the bracket here. This is equals to 0. Now we said we want to remain with a trinomial, so we need to do away with this term. In other words, we need to kick it out of the bracket. To do so, we need to multiply this term by the 2 that we took out as a common factor. So we have 2 into x squared minus 11 over 2x. And then let's just get the right color here. This is going to be positive 121 over 16. Now we said to take out this 121 over 16, sorry, negative 121 over 16, we multiply it by 2. 2 times negative 121 over 16, that's going to give me negative 121 over 8. And this is equals to 0. The next step is we could take this to the other side. So we have 2 into x squared minus 11 over 2x plus 121 over 16 is equals to 121 over 8. Let's scroll down for some room. When we get to this point, what we could do is, that's a terrible line. Let's get a straight line going here. Once we get to this point, we can divide both sides by 2, because now we no longer need the 2 that we have as a coefficient. So we can divide this by 2 and divide this by 2. The 2's are going to cancel out. You're going to remain with x squared minus 11 over 2x plus 121 over 16 is equals to, now when you type 121 over 8 divided by 2 in your calculator, you get 121 over 16. Let us factorize the expression on the left. So because we are completing the square, our answers will always be perfect square trinomials. So we've got x here, we've got x. The last term is positive, so our signs must be the same. Which sign are we taking? We're taking the sign of the middle term. So this is negative and this is negative. The square root of 121 over 16, that's going to give you 11 over 4. And this is 11 over 4. In other words, what we are saying is we've got x minus 11 over 4 all squared is equals to 121 over 16. I can find the square root on both sides. I'm going to get x minus 11 over 4 is equals to positive square root of 121 over 16, or x minus 11 over 4 is going to give you negative square root of 121 over 16. I'll get x minus 11 over 4 is equals to the square root of 121 over 16 is going to give me 11 over 4. I could take negative 11 over 4 to the other side. I get x is equals to 11 over 4 plus 11 over 4. This is going to give you 22 over 4. And if you simplify 22 over 4, you're going to get x is equals to 11 over 2. On the right-hand side, x minus 11 over 4 is equals to negative 11 over 4. I could take this 11 over 4 to the other side. Excuse me. We're going to get x is equals to negative 11 over 4 plus 11 over 4. We get x is equals to 0. There we are. We have solved for x. Brilliant. I hope that this makes sense to you guys. I hope you understand the context of the concept we are doing. If you understand and you find the video productive, you're enjoying it, please give us a like. Please click on the bell icon so that you can never miss an update every time we upload a video. And obviously subscribe to the channel and share the knowledge with other people so that they can benefit from the same knowledge that you are learning from. Lastly, we've got negative x squared plus 4x plus 5 equals to 0. Let's look at this one. So firstly, let's have a new sheet of paper. And this is going to be negative x squared plus 4x plus 5 is equals to 0. According to our understanding of completing the square, we need to take out the coefficient of x squared for the first two terms only. So this is going to be x squared minus 4x. We can take the 5 to the other side. Next step, we've got negative x squared minus 4x plus, let's change color. This is going to be half the coefficient of x squared minus half the coefficient of x squared. Close the bracket. This is going to give us negative 5. Let's simplify. We get negative x squared minus 4x. Then half of negative 4 will give us negative 2. Negative 2 squared is going to give us positive 4. Minus 4, wrong color. This is going to be equals to negative 5. Once again, we want to take this negative 4 out of the bracket because we only want to remain with a trinomial. So we're going to have negative x squared minus 4x plus 4. To get this out of the bracket, I multiply it by the negative 1 and I get positive 4 is equals to negative 5. We can now take the positive 4 to the other side and we get negative x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equals to negative 5 minus 4. So negative x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equals to negative 5 minus 4 gives you negative 9. When we're at this point, we can now divide by negative 1. That's a terrible division line. Let's do things properly. We divide by minus 1. We also divide by minus 1 on the right-hand side. So the negative 1 cancels. I remain with x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equals to 9. I need to factorize the expression on the left. I'm going to have x here, I'm going to have x there. Last term is positive, so the signs must be the same inside the bracket. We take the sign of the middle term, so this is minus, this is minus. The square root of 4, I'm going to take 2 and 2. So, since our brackets are the same, we can write this as x minus 2 all squared is equals to 9. Find the square root on one side, find the square root on the other side. X minus 2 is going to give you negative square root of 9, or x minus 2 is going to give you positive square root of 9. We're going to get x minus 2 is equals to minus 3. X minus 2 is equals to positive 3. We take negative 2 to the other side, take negative 2 to the other side. X is equals to negative 3 plus 2. This is going to give us x is negative 1. On the other end, we've got x is equals to 3 plus 2. This is going to give us x is equals to 5. Brilliant. Life is great. I hope that this made sense to you guys, and I hope that you understand the concept of completing the square and solving for x by completing the square. I hope you found this video useful and productive. If you did, please give us a like, please subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon so that every time when we upload a new video, you get notified. Once again, please share the knowledge with others, spread the word, and let's all benefit from this and let's all work towards excellency. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. I shall see you in the next one. Ciao.